Ah, we're good. Hi, hey. It's me. Wait, the immersion. I've ruined it. Also, I just like painting with gloves on anyway. It sounds strange, and it is. But, I don't know. It feels like my hands are less likely to get gooped upon by paint. And I got my little skeleton hands. Look at that. That's what we're rocking with today. So, this is with the new camera. And we're just gonna see how it works. And we're just gonna get down to business. And I'm gonna try my best. Actually, I wanna see OBS up. And yeah, we're just gonna try our best. So we got five little plastic spacemen that need to be painted today. Chosen at semi-random from my mountain of other plastic spacemen that need to be painted. And yeah. Oh, hold on. I'd like to. So I'm gonna have this up here. I'm gonna have this over here. Yeah, that works. Perfect. Now my camera is apparently busted, so I gotta do the old reactive image instead of my face. My other camera is busted, not the desk camera. As you can see, the desk camera is actually functioning pretty decently. Now, spray based all these, and most of it is good to go, but see, a lot of these models are secondhand, in that I bought them off eBay, or my local game shop actually sells used models as well. Let's see if I can find an example. All these are spray based, and like this guy. Look at all that green that's on them still, even though I spray based them. So I'm just gonna go along with this Black Templar's contrast paint, and we're gonna pull the camera out a bit, and I'm just gonna go around making sure that this bottle of paint is not right by my arm. The reason I have a paper towel down is because, man, if I spilled plenty of paint on my desk, my desk is like a folding plastic table, so I don't really care that much, but it does look kind of grody. And while it's a little too late for it to ever look pristine again, we can at least try to keep it from being grody forever. Let's see, what parts? Basically, I'm just wanting to get all the parts that I don't think will be covered with different amounts of paint. So what I mean by that is, like, the paint scheme we're going with for these is a nice black and green. I really like it. I don't think it has, well, the color scheme is based off of the 40k faction called the Purge, the Nurgle Chaos Space Marines, but I don't know if I'll play them as the Purge. Let's see, can I? Oh, that's really hard to focus with these gloves on, isn't it? Okay, well, good enough. Good enough. And yeah, based off of a faction called the Purge, or one of those Chaos War bands called the Purge. Don't know if I'm gonna play them as the Purge, but I like the colors a lot. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. bitch. This happens sometimes, as you can see. So we only have to paint 4 today. I have super glue, I just don't have it on me. Actually, you know what? Why don't we replace this little bastard with something better? Let's see, who wants to get painted? How about this guy? Yeah. You're on the painting block now. And he looks pretty well taken care of and based and good. Let's see. That one looks fine. That's gonna be an HQ unit. I'm not sure what. I think it probably was some sort of chosen model or something, but it's got the mace to the Crozius, so I'm gonna use him as a Dark Apostle. That's why he's sitting on the weird 40mm base. As you can see, I've gone to very delicate and careful strides to base these, and that I glued their base to a different base. Oh, he needs to be 40mm for NHQ. Alright, well, here's what we'll do. We'll just glue his base to a 40mm piece of plastic. He's fine too. Pretty sure this guy's fine as well. A little bit of spots missed. Yeah, a lot of these are secondhand, so either secondhand and or I've kit bashed them with other parts I've just gotten my hands on throughout the ages. Specifically this guy. Well, not specifically this guy, but this guy is one among many. Your more eagle-eyed people can see he's got a, what's that, a Vubric Marine chain cannon, Space Wolf's head and backpack, and Chaos Space Marine body. But, you know, that's a good thing with Chaos Space Marines. They are weird and hodgepodge. So, perfect. Alright, well, those are based. I can close this contrast paint. I have spilled contrast paint and washes all over my desk, and it looks terrible. But, you know, it's the price we have to pay. I'll move my mouse pad over there. Actually, I'm going to move my mouse pad. Ooh. I just realized my controller's keeping my camera up. That's alright, but possibility for catastrophe. We just won't think about it. Out of sight, out of mind. No, I'm not opening up a sandwich. I have a wet palette that I've made out of Tupperware. Now, the benefits, if you do not know, of a wet palette can be explained by much better artists than I. But effectively what it does is it's a little container that you put paint into out of your pots so that you have kind of pretty damp. That should be fine. Might be a little too runny, but we'll find out. It's basically a wet surface, kind of. It's a semi-wet surface, but when you close it up, it keeps everything inside damp, so that you can seal it back up and your paints won't dry out. And it's really handy because, at least for me, I don't have to rush painting. I go, oh, I'm done for today. Well, I have some paint left over. Oh no. But that's fine because it's in the wet palette and it will save for another day. Let's see. But basic general paint scheme of these, well, you'll see. You'll see. Also, it's chaos. Chaos, the benefit is that they have all kinds of hodgepodgey armor and all of that going on. Hi. I'm not used to painting with this microphone in front of me. But that's okay. It's kind of thick. I put that on a little thick, but I think it should be fine. If it's not, we'll deal with it, but I think it should be okay. This guy, what other spots do I want green on him? Maybe his helmet. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a nice little bowed helmet, but what if we made it a green bowed? What if it was green? Trying to move my mic out of the way. That kind of far away, but I hunch, so I crouch and I hunch like a gremlin painting my plastic spaceman. Let's see. That be in focus? Kinda in focus. The one thing I did not anticipate. Oh, he's got some green on the back of his own. That's okay. We'll live. We live by the rule that we can always touch it up later, and we will. We will touch it up later. Any spots that are missed, so do not fret. Yes, this camera, something. I was gonna, oh, the focus. It's got has the ability to manually focus, but, with my gloves on, my painting gloves, much like my driving gloves. I don't have driving gloves. I wish I did. I guess, I don't know. I don't drive enough to have driving gloves on. Like if I was a long road trucker or something, maybe. Like I said, we got some paint over the edge there, but that's going to be covered up with grass anyway. You'll see. Just wait till the final product. If you're looking at these and you're like, man, this looks like shit. Listen. Just wait. Just wait till the final product. I promise. It will look pretty good at the end. Alright? You don't need to believe me now. But you should believe me at the end? I don't know what I'm going for there, but something. Yeah. That's a thin coat right there. That's perfect. Actually, the other one that I thought was too thick is kind of thinning out. It's on a Pauldron anyway, so. Pauldron's like a smooth, flat surface. So, it's fine. It's fine. These first steps are always very, big strokes for big folks. And that it looked like dog shit most of the time. For me, they do. I'm sure there's someone out there who will put down the first coat and it'll be like, wow, amazing. But that person is not me. I assure you that. And if at any point the model slips out of the camera and you're like, what happened? Yeah, I hand it off to my professional painter off to the side, and he'll do its magic. Now it looks alright. Also, you kind of gotta judge stuff by like from a distance. I don't know. At least for me, I'm like, if I look at it too up close, I'll be looking at it and fretting over every little mispaint or thing out of place, and then I'll put it on my shelf with my other models, and I will immediately forget about any minor things out of place. So as you see, we kind of got to go like in here. So it's going to look sloppy. It's going to cover the face a bit. But the good thing about that is we're going to be painting over all of that with a different color. So who cares? There we go. I'm trying to keep stuff as much in the camera as possible, but you know. The camera's not where my eyes are. And plus, I'm gonna be honest, this part of painting, boring. It's just like, look, I put down a thin, kind of gross layer over some black. Wow. Okay. Once you start getting like the finer details in, well, oh god, once you get to like the point where you start doing the washes, oh, it's so satisfying. You're like, oh man, it looks so good. It's just this beginning part you gotta get over where you're like, man, this looks so bad. Whoops. This guy, he's got his helmet on. He's got this pauldron that kind of looks... We're gonna make that flesh colored. You'll see. And I think I'm gonna color this helmet green. Also, if you're wondering what beats we're listening to right now in the background, it is the Mechanicus game soundtrack. Very loved soundtrack because it is pretty dang good. Kind of this gothic techno. Because it's just his helmet and one pauldron right now, I'm also going to do his knees. Or his greaves? Knees, shins, whatever that is in armor. Not to get this a little close to my face. Or I can move my face closer to it, so it's on camera, huh? I'm going to try to be as careful as possible with this brush. In theory, I could use a much more delicate brush, but like I said, this stage is all about quick and sloppy. Because I will be going back and touching stuff up. Does saving time in this phase kind of negate the point if I'm going back and painting over some stuff? And spending time doing that? Perhaps. But whatever. that into frame. Yeah, perfect. I'm just gonna slather his boots in this stuff. Oops! Don't poke the camera, Dark Apostle. That's rude. Let me try not to get. Work. And the final guy for the first base coat. Yes, final guy for the first base coat. That's correct. Luckily, this guy's one of those Mark 4s. Mark 4s? Mark 3s? I don't know. I got them on eBay, actually. Along with like 20 other Mark III armor sets. Some of them had arms busted off, so the arms had to be glued back on. Like that guy whose arm broke off. Oh. While we were painting. I think that's going to be pretty simple green for this guy. Who was the first one painted? I think it was you, Beaky Boy. Also, it's all black, so it's kind of hard to show up on camera. But you will see. You will bear witness. My plastic army men. Get over. We're going to do a second coat on everything we've painted green. I know. Sometimes I'll alternate and be like, alright, well, I'm just too bored putting green down for this guy again. Alright. The more we do, in this stage, the happier we'll be. Because then we'll put bronze over, you can kind of see on his shoulder, even though it's black on black right now. His shoulder will have bronze around the green. His helmet, little tuft right there, is going to be red. His gun's going to be silver. His loincloth's going to be red. Pouches are going to be brown. And it'll have a lot more going on than just black on black. On black. Ugh. Oops. Almost painted my computer monitor. That would have been a bummer. Although, if you get to the paint pretty quick, it's not too bad. Except for my desk. My desk just eats it up. God, my desk loves paint. I spilled some, like maroon contrast paint on though. Now it looks like a giant blood stain on my desk. Now, at some point I should play the Mechanicus game. Maybe I'll put it on the docket. I also have some Mechanicus models I need to paint, so maybe I'll do like a whole thing. Also, with the green paint, I'm also going to be putting contrast paint over it, which isn't an excuse to make it look absolutely terrible, but the contrast paint will also cover some of the... You'll see. Like I keep saying, you'll see. Can't judge the painting job on the first pass, I can tell you that. I have I'm certainly no master by any means, but I've painted a bit. I've got some painting under my belt, and I can't tell you the amount of times I've started a project and I go, oh no, I've lost my ability to paint. This looks terrible. Oh Lord, the travesty I am committing to this plastic spaceman, or demon, or mix of both. And then I get to the end and I'm like, oh wow, that looks pretty good. I hate getting into the arms there. Why gotta be so... Now in theory, I guess, well, you know, I've never tried painting it unassembled and then assembling it. That sounds hard. Also, I feel like once you start gluing, right, it's not gonna glue together as well, but I don't know. That is sufficient. Also, I think this guy with a chain gun will need to be rebased at some... Rebased, I say. Well, actually, I could rebase that one. A lot of these are in that weird base on base format because they have those quick assemble slot bases. I'll show you what I mean once I'm done with this guy. Because the next guy coming up has it. Try not to get my finger into the camera, though. That's okay. That'll work. This guy. You can kind of see between his feet is a little plastic slot, and then he slots into the base. So if I wanted to rebase him completely, I'd have to cut that base off, sand his feet down, and then glue him to this. And it's a lot easier just to glue that base to this base. Eventually, I do have a lot of green stuff epoxy. I'm gonna, for any of the ones that are like this, I'm gonna make a little hill and then just paint it. You know. But that is a while off. For now, as long as they're on the right little pedestal, even if it looks stupid, it's fine. It's fine. His little space marine toesies. Also, some of this paint's a little, like I was saying at the beginning, it's a little wet. It's a little, like, over wet. So I tried adding some normal paint to it to thicken it up. But, I mean, it's not bad. It's fine. But I can definitely tell it's a little damp. That should work. As you can see, he's got some spots on his own. But, oh, can you see that? Well, you can't really see it on camera, can you? Well, he does. He's got a few little spots. But, like I said, it's fine. We got black paint, and we'll be touching that up a bit. Actually, if we finish early, I do have a quick paint job thing I want to do for a model I've already painted, but I haven't applied. So I painted a lot of these models. Excuse me. I painted a lot of these models with just the black and green that you see here, all better than more layers, right? But I didn't apply the contrast paint to them. And once I started to, I was like, wow, this looks pretty good. I'll do it for everyone, right? And then from then on, I started adding the contrast paint. But I have one model that still has the old black and green, and it's actually my Chaos Lord. So he's kind of a semi-centerpiece. Brass paint. Love it. It's kept its... Actually, should I do brass or silver next? Well, I already have brass on my thing. But... You know what? That's fine. The reason I was like, oh, but I kind of already... is this guy's bolter. See how it has like that bird beak at the front? And the magazine. Kind of wanted to paint those brass, but what I'll do is I'll just come back to them. Because also, this guy's Pauldron, I'm going to paint that brass with some silver highlighting. So it doesn't really matter which order I do it in. I'm going to have to come back to at least one of them. Gosh, that looks so bright on the camera. This brush is ratty. It's fine. It's fine. We saved him, ladies and gents. We saved him. Yeah, this brush is a little old. And, both me and Brand share brushes, and we don't take the best care of them, admittedly. So I'm not going to blame the brush. It is technically our fault. But, you know, who likes taking responsibility for things that are clearly their fault? I don't, and so I won't. And we're going to do 2 coats of this brass as well. Just so when you look at it, you're like, that looks kind of like shit. It's like, yeah, it does, but... But that's okay. They have like the little handles you can get from minis that you just hold in your hand to paint. Those seem like they could be kind of handy. But try to keep this under control, bitch. That's okay, because we got the paint cleaning master, the Q-tip, and some spit. And if that doesn't work, we let's paint over it. Perfect. See, how does that look on here? That looks pretty good. You can see what I'm going for. As you can tell, or maybe you can't tell, that is a shoulder from a rubric marine. So, like I said, very hodgepodge. What a fun word to say, Okay. You. I think I want his mask to be bronzed, along with the little helmet crown thing. Which is going to be kind of hard for me to paint correctly without getting it everywhere. But we'll try. We will certainly try. Maybe not with this brush. This one does not seem like it's going to do the job. Now, there's a bunch of dogs outside. And for a moment there, I was like, why are there a bunch of dogs on this soundtrack? That's kind of weird. Not even like big wolf dogs. Sounds like tiny yappy dogs, but that's why. They are in fact not part of the soundtrack. They are just the soundtrack of the city. Oops. Maybe you actually want to see what I'm doing. Perhaps. There we go. Yeah, this brush sucks. It has one little nub that sticks out. That I'll get like little good enough. That will get paint on spots I don't want it to. We'll do the other pauldron. That's also the benefit of having a wet palette. Is you could go, I got paint on a spot I don't want it to be on. That's alright, I got paint over here. That's good to use. That's the same color. And it's not like, I had to bust out more paint because I forgot this spot. It feels like I'm wasting the paint. You know what I mean? Also, some of this painting's just kind of trying to just do it quickly. It sounds like I'm making excuses, and I very much am. But, God, I have so many models to paint. I got so many models, dude. And the important part is, you're never really gonna ruin a model by painting it bad. I mean, I know there's like the memes that show like the 7 thick coats of paint on a model that like permanently change its shape. But as long as you're not doing that, you should be okay. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm going for now. I'm gonna get a different brush for his face. I'm just gonna set that there. Just do his little like crown around the top of his head. Well, not exactly as precise as I was hoping that was gonna be, but that's fine. I'm certainly no heart surgeon. I just took the patient out right then and there. But like I said, we got plenty of black paint for touch-ups. Not something to lose sleep or hope over. Plus, most of the time when you pull back, you won't really know. Well, that one you can kind of see still. But most of the time, you won't really know. These brushes are actually approaching the end at least of their life here. Hell yeah, you hit that synthetic organ. And once again, remember, we're doing two coats of this anyway. 2 plus, actually. Metallic paint's sometimes a little weird. And the benefit of painting Chaos Space Marines is they're all kind of weird and gross. So if it doesn't look good at the end, you know, whatever. Yeah, we'll paint it. There's a few spots on that one that need to be touched up, but that's alright. Some touch-ups every now and again gonna hurt. Gosh, this one sucks. I think this is one of the just normal Space Marine pauldrons. It's so thin. Like the I don't know what you would call it. The barrier? The something. The like area around the pauldron. The spots that I've been painting brass have super thin. Damn it. Fine. There'll be more. There'll be more spots that I screw up. That was never in question. Let's see. How does that look on camera? Ah, see, that looks fine. Sometimes it's just about trusting yourself as well. There you go. Oh no, I made a mistake. But then you like look at it from a foot away. You're like, I made a mistake. And then you pull your head back. You're like, oh, actually, it's not that big of a deal. Believe in the philosophy of just, hey, don't stress it, you know? Stressing on it, it's not the whole point of it. That looks kind of gross, but also kind of cool. Again, Chaos Space Marine, so he's gonna have some gross spots. It's like built-in grunge. And I'm gonna paint this little targeting skull thing on his backpack brass as well. I was gonna paint it just bone, but I think brass will look pretty okay. Brass skeleton pieces always look pretty neat. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, don't touch it. What am I doing? I noticed the brass looks very bright. But I'm gonna put some Agrax Earthshade over it. I'm gonna put some Agrax Earthshade over it, right? And that will dull some of the brightness and add some. Not add detail, that's not how that works, but it will make some of the detail on it pop a little bit better. Yeah, I'll see all those little black spots, those will be touched up. And I am gonna make his gun while I'm here because there's a big chunk of his model. A good portion of this is gonna be brass. And plus, little black spots on brass kind of just look like corrosion. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not very good looking, but it kind of fits the aesthetic. You know, Chaos Space Marines and all that. Oh, that's what I'm gonna paint silver. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of touch-ups, let's do some of the touch-ups now. Because the brass really only requires like 1.5 coats, if that makes any sense. So it's like, I'm not going to really have to go over all the brass parts with a whole nother coat. God, well, damn it. Where's my Q-tip? There we go. We're just really going to have to go over the spots that are missing and brass once we get there. Why don't we do some green touch-ups while we're here and while we're waiting. This one's... I should actually probably put this at the camera. But... just some of the spots there. Our touch-ups are gonna be nice and small. Once we do the main stroke with the big brush. Oh, I didn't even put any brass on this one. That's what I get for doing something out of order. I lose count of where I am. That's okay. We got a wet palette for a reason. It's not like the paint's gonna dry up. My beautiful boy. It's kind of hard to rotate in gloves. When I do paint in gloves, I usually paint with thinner gloves. These are like old motorcycle gloves. But that is okay. Yeah. This one, I'm not going to put much on camera because I need to get my face in much closer than normal, and I just can't do that normally, so forgive me. Have faith that I'm not handing it off to my professional painter while I scrunch my body up to get all the touch-ups in here. How does that look? Still a few dark spots, but I can't tell. Most of it's for the copper or the brass. Wait, speaking of copper and brass, I should probably actually do this guy before I forget again. I was thinking about making his horns copper on his helmet, but nah. I do want to make the staff of his Crozius brass, though. I know I'm using brass and copper interchangeably. Fucking sue me. Very dramatic painting music. I dig it. That was pretty good, right? Is this Dawn of War music? Yes, it is. Oh. Actually been in the Dawn of War soundtrack for the last 50 minutes. No, that's not true. Well, I tricked over the Dawn of War soundtrack at some point. You might wonder why I started painting part of his head brass, but it's got like tubes. Can you see the tubes? It's got like tubes. And that might not make any sense right now, but probably can't see what I'm doing. Goodness. I'm gonna paint this flesh colored along with his head, obviously, and we're just gonna see how it looks. I have an idea of how it's gonna look. We will see if my idea stays the way that it is. What? I don't know. Oh, where's my soul? I'm gonna mix up some of the sulfur paint. With metallics, you definitely want to make sure you mix them a little bit with like a toothpick or something. Before just putting it on your palette. Because they got like this weird, how would I describe it? They got this weird like inky medium to keep the paint flowable. I don't know if that's a word, but it's like an ink that the metallic parts are suspended in. So if you don't mix it well enough, you end up just getting this ink, and it's not the color you want. It's not a silver or a bronze. It's an orange or a gray, like ink. See, can you see that? Yeah. That's gonna be red above it, but yeah, good enough. I was gonna do more bronze touch-ups, but I'm gonna save that to the end to try and just consolidate it all down into one phase. I almost started painting the bird head, which I remembered is just going to be covered up in brass, so no point in doing that. Yeah. It's good for right now. I switched brushes because I'm not painting all this chain gun with that tiny ass brush. And I'm so excited for when we get to the oils and the washes and the contrast paints. Oh, that's what painting's so fun. Because all the walls on the construction site come down and you can see what you've been building this whole time. You know what I mean? It's like up until then, you have an idea of what you're going for. Oh, and I can take a cute little picture of all these plastic spacemen when we're done. And, yeah. Be like, look, we did it. Painted all on stream. Wearing nothing? Yes. Only wearing these gloves. How's that? Ooh, that looks good. Ooh. Ooh! Yo, it's just a giant hair on my hand. Different paints have different consistencies, so once you kind of get the hang of them, you can start like speed painting. Stuff that looks pretty halfway decent. Actually, I need to get some silver paint out of here. Oh no! It's just the ink. The ink I warned you all about. I need to stir it some more. Ow! No! Don't worry, nothing catastrophe-wise. I just dropped my stir stick. Like, I feel like I can paint fairly quickly with silver. And it looks pretty okay. Well, maybe I should actually show what I'm talking about. Let's see. Well, it's wet. So once it dries out, I'll have a better idea. One of the cables in his head. Oh, he's got a chainmail too. Got chainmail a bit on his groin. Oh, I'm not painting the back of that. It's behind a cape. But I might go back. Oh, we'll do touch-ups later. Stop at me. Oh, well, what if I just paint? If I just paint this real quick and it's shush. I'll keep it in my mind, and we'll see how it looks once it gets towards the end, and go from there. Well, it also helps painting silver in that it's just big swaths of silver. Like, very rarely do I paint around something when painting the weapon. And this is also getting contrast paint over it as well, so. How does that look? Okay, that was pretty alright. Yeah. Right. Wish me luck. I'm gonna try and paint the little crest on his helmet. That looks better in person than it does on camera, I assure you. I think just some of that extra gloss from the paint shining through. Okay. What's next? Got a silver. Want to do red? We can do red. Oh wait, I got more silver. Ah! 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 I have a few silver spots. Specifically this guy. He's got little grenades on his belt. I always forget the grenades in the pouches. Actually, why don't I adjust myself in my chair, because my posture is terrible. But why don't I do the flesh coloring? Ooh, the flesh, my favorite. It is actually kind of my favorite, though. I mean, yes, putting down contrasts and washes is my favorite, but so is painting flesh, because I don't have it. Alright, who wants their flesh painted? Well, this guy definitely needs it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do his pauldron. It might sound strange, but stick with me. I think there's some detail on this pauldron here that will make it look good when it's flesh colored. Also, much like I mentioned before, but extra for white or tan or any color like that you're painting. Wait until there's 2 to 3 coats on it before judging it, alright? Because look, it looks gross. It looks real gross when you first put it on. But stick with me. Stick with me on this flesh journey and you will see. You'll all see. I'm sorry if that's really annoying when I keep bumping my microphone, but it's because I gotta lean in close for the flesh. But I feel like flesh especially, tan especially, it does not look very good when it's first put on. Especially not until you get that Viklin flesh shade on there. So this guy needs some silver on his face. It's got like a cybernetic eye. Well, we'll get there. Oh boy, will we get there. Listen, I know what you're saying. This is crazy. Absolute insanity. Why paint his shoulder flesh colored? Well, it's not gonna be just flesh colored. I got some pallid plague flesh, I think is the color. And I think some that does not want to focus. It looks like I colored over the bronze at the bottom. I did not. I assure you. I promise you. That bronze at the bottom is not colored over. After flesh, I think I'm going to do another pass of bronze. And I might just make this guy's cybernetic eye thing. I just might make it bronze. It'll fit the aesthetic better. Well, should I do bronze? No, I should not do bronze. Bronze, we're saving for touch-ups. Alright? Trying to get ahead of myself. We're gonna do Crimson next. Look how nice these look already. Well, like, halfway done. But if you watch this from the beginning, you're like, oh man, these are gonna look like shit. Fool. Buffoon. Absolute clown. Listen, I felt the same way. I won't hold it against you. Every time I start a painting project, I go, oh no. Oh no, where'd all my talent and skill go? I don't have a lot of it. I can't lose even a bit. Also, I forgot with silver I was going to do this, but that's fine. We'll do another pass of silver after this. We're going to leave bronze until, like, the end. Technically, black is going to be at the end, because it's just going to be touching up all these spots that I screwed up on. Oh, I need to do eye lenses. Not this, well, this pass would be a good idea. But not with this brush, that's for damn sure. Actually gonna use a new technique for the eye lenses. A new technique called using a toothpick. And we'll see how that works out. Guy's got like a little braid thing going on, so I want to put some silver at the base of that too. Rotate, you bastard. Cool. Forgot this guy has a loincloth thing going on too. Yeah. That's gonna darken. Everything's gonna darken up, by the way. So if you're like, "Oh, looks too bright," it's fine. It's fine. It'll all be good. Damn it! I swear. Sometimes I feel like I have the precision of like something that's not precise, because it would be that. Look at this big ass cape of his. I'm just gonna go to town. This will also have contrast paint over the reds and the crimsons, which is one of the reasons why I don't care too much about it. If a few little spots don't look like the as vibrant as they could be. Yeah, you can't. Well, you can, but as I say, you can't even tell. Well, you can, but it's fine. Again, we're gonna finish with touch-ups. It'll all be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Ah! Getting into the back of that cape is very hard, but luckily we don't really need to actually get all the way in there. Just kind of need to get enough. That should do. Let's see. That guy's bog standard. He's fine. I forgot about the horns, actually. Both horns on the Chaos Lord and the guy with the sword are gonna have to be colored in the same sort of tan color we did for the flesh. That's okay. As you can already tell, we're sort of coming along. He's getting there. Alright, well that should be the primary. Is this 2 toothpicks? No, it's 1 toothpick. That's just splintered. What the hell? There we go. Now, I've never tried using toothpicks to paint before. But we'll see how it works. Because, you see his little eyes? No, you don't. It's on focus. He's got little eyes in there. And I don't like how that first one went. It's not a good sign. The first one isn't exactly well, it's fine. We'll do a couple touch-ups. Well, it's okay. We'll do a couple touch-ups. Yeah. It's not... It's fine, I guess, as a way of doing it. That one looks better, actually. Kind of. It's okay. We'll touch up around it, and it'll be okay. Overall, nah. I'm not super psyched to the way that turned out, but that's okay. Again, with touch-ups, anything's fixable. this silver. This guy's got a little tube backpack here. God, oh shit. Okay, we're good. Thought I just painted my camo lens. Whoops. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good enough. Good enough for now. I'm gonna make his little braid thing brass. Damn it. Damn it. I missed this guy's loincloth. Fuck. Always little bits from a model that you forget about. How's that? This chainmail on the back. Yeah, it looks fine. Actually has a little grenade up in his crevice. But yeah, I forgot to paint his little loincloth there. Oh, he has a gun on his back too, doesn't he? Damn it! That's fine. How's oh, it's pretty alright. Yeah. Again, this is all gonna get dulled down a bit when oh, you know, I almost forgot him again. This guy and his little mincy pauldron that needs to be painted. Kind of see what I'm going for there. It also needs this bird paint. Oh no, that's gonna be the brass, not silver. Let's go brass. He has one little spot on this pauldron that needs covering up. That looks pretty good. It's not overly, I don't know what the word would be. Extravagant, but it's there. And we're gonna, his little doodad where he connects his braid to his head. Yeah. Oh, and he also has these weird spots down at the bottom of his loincloth that I'm gonna... Maybe you can kind of see he's got like these little fins. I don't know how to describe them, but we're gonna paint them brass. Yeah. This guy needs something. Ah, right. He needs red. Oh, actually, while I'm here, my idea... Gosh. See how it's this little, like, thing around his neck? I'm like, what if I made that brass? Ah, it looks alright. I think you could use some... Gosh, this is gonna be... Because it kind of, some of the detail on his chest armor is obscured by it being just black on black, right? So I'll do a little of that. How does that? That looks so weird on the camera. I am freehanding, so that's why it's not on camera, because I have to have it real close to my face. Let's see, how does... That looks better. That's significantly more brass to look at. Has a few spots on it. Nothing wild, just on its pauldron he has like those little teeth. I don't know what the heck those things are, but I want them brass, so they're gonna be brass. What's up next? What's next? Horn stuff? Horn stuff. Yeah. Well, actually, how do I get some red in? Because he has this loincloth that needs painting. Oh, that is so much. That is too much paint. Well, actually, I don't know. Can't. That's fine. I'm gonna see if I can't take a little bit off with a Q-tip. Nothing too critical. There's a little bit too much paint on this brush and it's a little too wet, too thin. Also, it dawns on me I never put eyes on his helmet, but got my toothpick here. I'm just gonna Take some off of my brush. Also, whenever I start talking like this, it's because I have the brush in my mouth. And I have... Man, I don't know. I hate drawing eyes. Putting eyes on things. Sucks. It sucks and I hate it. Not the minis. The minis are coming along. That's a process. The drawing of the eyes, though, I do not like doing that. Yeah. It'll look better when his flesh-colored parts are fleshed out. Aha. What's next? Like brown? Oh, right, horns. Horn bits. I keep forgetting about the horn bits. I'm gonna paint these the same color tan as the skin bits. But we're just gonna put different washes on them when they're done. Yeah, you can kind of see it coming along here. This guy. How's that look? Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. I'm gonna do another quick layer of that. And what's next? Brown? Oh, I hate painting brown. Just because it's always, I always use it for like, I mean, there's a couple skin tones I use that, which is not a problem. But it's like, I don't know, when it's like, you want to do belts and pouches, it's like, no. But after I do brown, it will be the last, like, main color I need to put down. Then we'll move on to the fun stuff. Not that this wasn't fun already, but, you know, it's... Once stuff gets touched up and, like, gets washes and contrast paints, it starts looking way better. And you go, hey, I did it. You know? I mean, already, obviously, this stuff looks better than it did even just a few minutes ago, but... I'm gonna categorize these by who needs brown. You need brown. You don't need brown. And you don't need brown. So it's only really 3 things I need brown. Oh, adjust my chair again. Really, it's just these little pouches and stuff and belts, you know, that get brown paint. It just helps to add contrast, I guess. Just a little bit. But the dark, Wait, why was I giving this guy brown? He doesn't have anything brown to paint. What the hell? This guy. Damn, what's this remix going on in the background? Kind of funky. Alright. Well, that's the base colors done. Now we gotta actually do touch-ups. Let's start with green. Lovely. What is this? Moot green? Moot green. I want to start with you. We're just gonna go along and paint any spots we've missed, or spots that get accidentally painted over. Or if the helmet is green, we're gonna make it look a little bit better. I can't really see it. Looks better, I promise. Like this guy. There we go, you know? We're just painting around the spots that we kind of fucked up on. This guy has a few spots that have been accidentally brassed. Or it should be green. Or some spots that just aren't fully covered. Cool. That's that for the green. I guess next will be bronze. There's a few spots I've noticed that just have some bronze out of place. Or I should say bronze not in the right place. This one with its spiky shoulders has plenty of spots that I could use filling in. This is a funky remix. There's a few spots on his mace that could use some extra love and care. As we know, all Chaos Space Marines are made with love and care. For the most part, this guy's actually pretty alright. There's a few red spots he'll need taken care of. But my beautiful boys, we're all coming together. Oh, maybe I should actually put this in the camera. Actually, I'll do a little touch up with brown on this guy because he has a mustache. I forgot about that. Forgot about his lovely, lovely mustache. His eyes. That's right. This guy's eyes. Look at his eyes. Well, it's not showing up, but that's alright. It needs to be fixed anyway. I mean, for the most part, they're actually kind of alright. These brushes are getting so bad. Let's do red. This guy has got a cybernetic eye. I'm just gonna put a little bloop. Little bloop. There you go. That's all he needed. This guy with a cape, he actually has some of his cape go up on his pauldron here that I missed. I'm just going to take this fine little brush and go to town. I'm going to try to keep it so you can see it, but I do kind of need to keep it close. How does that look? He's good. Yeah, perfect. Not perfect, but not yet, at least. Yeah, and most other places don't need touch-up of red. And then I just have one thing of brown. And the touch-ups will be done, and we can move on to the best part. The washes and the contrasts. Shore up on that grip. How does that look? That does not show up well on camera. That's very much a you gotta be there in person kind of. It doesn't help this so much. I think I overly thinned this up. Yeah. That's my Q-tip. Yeah, it's so wet, it just came right off his face with the Q-tip. Let's try that again. Now, no. This doesn't sit on his face right. You can kind of see a bit, but doesn't matter. We're gonna add flesh shade over it anyway, so we're just gonna flesh shade the whole thing. Screw it. All right, I'm gonna be right back. Don't miss me too much. I am back. Now, I have to discard my gloves for this next part because I want to make sure everything's in focus. That's the reverse of that. So I want to make sure I show off my beautiful boys once they're fully finished. So you gotta look at my disgusting flesh suit hands. And on my break, I grabbed this guy. He is the one that needs to have his green contrasted. So, what do we want to do first? Well, I want to wipe the brown off that paintbrush that I just colored my finger with. That would be a good start. Seal up these paints because we won't need them. Where we're going, we don't need a palette because we're dealing with contrasts and washes, baby. Actually, I forgot to do touch-ups with black, so. Where's my Abaddon black? A little smidge of that. And I'm just gonna go through. Also, my hands were getting a little hot, so. You'll just have to see my flesh hands. And I will just have to make sure I don't get paint on my fingers. Damn it. I forgot his tentacle in the back. Alright, hold on. touch up the blacks, and then we will do the whatchamacallits. There we go. His crown looks a little less stupid. A little less stupid, a little less shitty. And we're going to work on this guy's eyes. Well, maybe I should do it in camera. Fuck. Alright, perfect. Yeah, that looks better. Any other spots he needs? Always find little bits that you miss. Always. Always. I was so excited because I'm like, yay, we're going to move on to the contrast and the washes. I have 2 spots. One in red. One in... what was it? It wasn't something. Oh, it was the tentacle, yes. That's right. It'll take just a few seconds. See, he's got this little tentacle on his back. You probably can't really see it. But it's there. I'm gonna paint it all up. And we'll apply some washes to it once we get 2 coats down. And it'll be great. Everything will be fantastic. I'll let that dry. What was the other one? It was red. Nice. Got a little spot of red on his sword at the bottom here. And I wanted to cover up. Yeah. There we go. Alright, tentacle. Let's see. Perfect. Well, it will be perfect once it dries. Now, I can seal away all the things. Because we are gonna move on to contrasts. Yay! Now, this guy, who was from my collection, needs to get his new contrast paint. Now I used to do, I think I put Plague Flesh contrast paint over it. That's why it's sort of like a dulled color. It's okay, it looks grimy, which, I mean, it's kind of the point, but... I tested putting this, it's the Alpha Legion green-blue color. And I just really like the way it looks once it dries. So, yeah, we're just going to do that. We're just going to go over the green spots to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to do with the others while everything dries up. Because it kind of creates like a, you can kind of see, I've done his feet. It makes like a jade, almost like a jade color that I really like. And yeah, we're just gonna paint all of his green spots with this. Now, contrast paint and washes are slightly different from normal paint because they're much more watery. But like, while I was complaining with some of those paints being watery, right? These are sort of purposefully watery because you want to put them over your paint, except contrast paint. Contrast paint is designed as like an in-between, and you can just literally paint a whole model with it if you want to. And it looks pretty good because with these washes and shades and all that, it gets real down in the cracks. Look at how cool he looks. It gets real down in the cracks, and when it dries, it creates like, well, contrast. You can see detail much better. Well, this is showing off what I painted previously, but this is the flesh shade that we're going to be using on the flesh parts of everyone. Except maybe I might use plague flesh for the time. I don't know yet. But you can see how it makes sort of the skin tone. This one has different layers depending on where on the cape it is to make it look like a cape of flesh. Which, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. And, yeah. There you go. That's what the rest of them are going to look like. You can tell that one also had the weird slot base that I was talking about. But, we're just going to do all the greens right now. And it's going to look so pretty. Gosh, this is truly my favorite part of painting. It's like all your work kind of comes together and you go, oh, that does look really cool. Now, when you can kind of tell it from here, you can kind of see brush strokes on it, but once it dries, those go away. It's because it's so, like, wet that you can see those. Now, this is contrast paint. Like I was saying, it's sort of a, god damn it, look, the spots I missed in the black truck, fuck. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, contrast paint is just like a product they make that's between a wash and a paint. It's very liquidy. You don't need to thin it at all. You don't need to even use a palette for it. You literally just take it out of the container and you paint it on. Now, you can paint a whole model with it. I haven't done it, but you could. I like to use it as a complement to normal paints. That's just personal preference. And like I said, I haven't done it otherwise, so maybe I'm wrong. But when you put it down, it adds, well, contrast. You can kind of see his chest bit. Alright. If I want to focus this. Yeah, there you go. Close to that. Yeah. Kind of see all the little detail in his chest bit that you couldn't before. Again, popping out. And, I mean, it looks good. I like it. Now, obviously, the bits that look like brush strokes, like I said, those go away. So, those go away when it goes. But, like I said, it's a midpoint between a wash and a shade and a wash and a normal paint. Now, a shade or a wash is very liquidy. And you cannot paint a whole model in it. It would look atrocious. But you can use it to shade certain spots of one. So like, one of the most common ones is Nuln Oil. It's like a black, inky material. And actually, I haven't really used Nuln Oil much. It's not that I have anything against it. I just feel like the ones I use for the things that I use them for fit better. But it's like a blinky. It's like an inky black sort of liquidy material, and you paint it on, and when it dries, it fills in all the cracks with this dark material, so it really shows the contrast for it. And we're gonna not use Nuln Oil, but we are gonna use Agrax Earthshade, which is a brown inky material, and we're gonna apply that all over the brass parts, and it looks pretty good. You can use it on gold as well, and it dims it a little bit so it's not super shiny, because it's like eye-searingly shiny without it, kind of. And it will once again show all the nice little detail, which is what we want. Like, look at this guy's foot. Bet you didn't see that before. His little face on his foot. No, you can't even really see it now. Well, kind of. It's there. And along with shades, I really don't know the specific difference. But you have your, like, Reikland Flesh Shade, which I guess is a shade now that I say it out loud. Which is going to turn this, like, just pale into, like, skin color. That's what I showed off with the cape. And depending on if we want to darken that flesh tone as well, which I might do, I think that might be kind of neato, to use some Agrax Earthshade as well. There he is. He's coming along. I'm also going to use it on this Pauldron. And, yeah. You'll see. You'll all see. You called me mad. But they make shades for, like, all kinds of, like, purples and all that. And then for the reds, we're gonna use, I believe it is called Flesh Terror's Crimson. It's another contrast paint, but once we put it on, like, some of these capes and bands and hair stuff, it looks pretty good. Maybe I should actually have it on camera. Like I said, this is my favorite part. I should show it off. Because everything just kind of falls into place. All according to Keikaku. Also, contrast paint's nice because, like I said, it gets rid of its own, like, brush strokes. So I guess if you painted a whole model in it, with, like, multiple layers, it'll just get rid of all of its own brush strokes. And then, like, the little lines between bits of the model get filled in with this liquidy contrast paint as well, so a lot of the little gaps just kind of go away. All the gaps go away. The detail pops out. Oops, well, fuck it. Didn't really want to cover his eyes, but that's fine. It's gonna not cover. It's not really gonna cover. It's just gonna make them off red, I guess. But like I said, it's very liquidy, and the big spill of crimson on my desk is from that crimson shade paint. Let's see. It looks very dark right now, but it changes. Changes as it dries. Alright. I just can't hold in my excitement any longer. I'm gonna paint flesh. Yeah. Now we're just gonna use this Reichland flesh shade. Boom, instant skin. Now, I don't paint eyes on my faces because I have a hard enough time with the helmets. You can't even see the eyes, but they do. So I just cover the whole thing in flesh shade and call it a day. Do I want to use... I think I do. I'm going to use Plague Flesh for that. It's just another flesh shade. Shade paint that's like flesh shade, except a little grosser looking. Let's see. I think I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade on this guy's head. Kind of dark in the skin tone a bit. Yeah, that was it. Plague Flesh is actually a contrast paint, so there you go. Bet you didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was like... whatever. I thought it was like Reichland Flesh Shade, and that was a shade paint instead of a contrast paint. Ew, look how gross this looks. It's like a green ooze. I love it. Give me the ooze. Give me the ooze, big boy. Yeah, with this contrast, you can really just, like, slop it on. It's great. All the careful preparations you made up until now, fuck it. Looks like pea soup. So gross. Yep. It's like working with inverted controls. Yeah. Again, though. Probably I'll do another pass of, yeah, I like that. Another pass of Reichland Flesh Shade on his face. The more flesh shade you put on, the more skin it looks like he has. Yeah, you see that? You can see his face coming out. Alright. Now let's Agrax it up. Hello, fellow kids. You want to Agrax it up? What's my Agrax issue? This is that shade paint that's just brown ink, basically. I have spilled it before, so I really hope I don't do it again. But, we're gonna use it on all the bits. I really don't want to show my keyboard, it's really blurry. That's basically what I'm trying to move the camera around. But we're gonna use it on all the brass bits and the horns. And then, after that, we use our crimson, and then crimson contrast paint for the capes and all that. And then we have Space Wolves Gray that we're going to use on the silver bits that I really like. I believe you could also probably use Nuln Oil on those silver bits, but personally, I just really like to use Space Wolves Gray contrast paint on mechanical doodads. How is that? Is that too dark? A little bit. That's okay. I'll just draw from there as I go around the brass. The horns will be my palette. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe. Well, I don't do eyes. I could do a little ag-rack, so where the eyes are. Can't really see it on camera. Also, widen my playlist out. I know for a fact you are not. There we go. Let's see. Well, you can see my hand really well. Good enough. And we're going to go through on this guy with our ag racks, and you can see how, like, the little holes in his visor really just begin to pop as we start adding our shades. And the base of these bolts on his pauldron here. I mean, it just adds contrast, right? That's what it's for. How's that? Oh, yeah. My little boys are all painted up, ready to go off to war, imaginary spaceman war. I had to drag Bran back to a game shop to play 40k again. I had a lot of fun. Kind of just in a weird holding pattern, waiting for the new codex. But both me and Bran play Chaos. He likes Emperor's Children and Fabius Bile, and I like Alpha Legion, and I think I'm gonna play these as the Purge at least once, because they got some interesting rules, even if they're only Nurgle aligned. And while I don't dislike Nurgle, he's not my main hero. I'm more of a Tzeentch guy myself, but unfortunately, like the Scourged, I think the color scheme's cool, if not a little too extra. It's red and blue, and like bronze, which looks cool, but it is a little too much. But speaking of Zinch, I actually have a bunch of horrors to paint as well. I made a whole list of things I need to paint before buying new Warhammer models, and there's terrain, there's I have a whole Eldar army just waiting to be painted, bro. Like, god damn. I need to make my way through those before I start buying more gray plastic. How's that look? Yeah, it looks alright. It doesn't... It's like a weird... It doesn't look like a normal skin tone for someone with, like, darker skin, but it's alright. It'll dry. Hey, when it dries, we'll see. It'll dry... It always dries differently. Bet you didn't even see that little skull on his thing when we were first painting. I don't blame you, but... How's this plague flesh look? Looks pretty good. Kind of see the weird, like, organic texture to it of why I wanted to do that in the first place. Well, I think the last thing is, besides the little spots to touch up in black, which is just honestly a constant process, is the crimson for the capes and all that. And then, well, we're done. Took about 2.5 hours, which is usually how long it takes for me to paint stuff. I'm sure if I had like an airbrush or something, I could do it much faster, but I don't. Oh, wait. I got the Space Wolves Gray. Yeah. Oh, that looks so shiny on the camera. Alright. Doesn't look nearly as shiny in person. I didn't... Thick. Alright, I actually have a couple different... I have a couple things to touch up. Not touch up, but add more shading and stuff too. I didn't do the guy's shoulders, and I didn't do the pouch. Well, the pouches don't really matter. I'm gonna be real. Pouches really don't matter, and honestly, if I didn't paint them, I don't think anyone would notice, but I would probably notice, and it would drive me insane months from now when I notice it, but can't paint it away, so might as well do it now. Might as well save my future self future heartache and trouble, and just do it now. Look at that. I bet when you first saw me painting, you were like, man, what is this fucking clown shoes doing to these models? Now look at it. Now look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I still have a few spots that need taken care of, but shades and washes will make your paint job 10 times better just by default. I'm serious. The moment you add null noise or something, like, god damn, I'm good. But remember, common pitfall is that people add too much Nuln Oil a lot of the time. So don't do that. Add just the right amount, or the right shading. It's not always just Nuln Oil. Sometimes it's Agraxos shade, sometimes it's whatever, right? Hell yeah. Right, the Agraxos shade on that one guy's Pauldron. Before moving on to gray, and then finishing up. Actually, I didn't do his other Pauldron, did I? Really, his gun. Whatever. I'll do the pouch. I'm already here. I got paint on my brush. You know. Can't even see it on camera. It's there. Make sure these are all sealed. I lost a paint pot of some sort. I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't that important, but I lost it to not sealing the thing correctly, and it tipped over. So what am I doing? This is Space Wolves. This is one of my oldest paints. I got it when I was like, I'm gonna make Space Wolves. Hence why I have so many Space Wolves bits. But I was won over by the forces of chaos. And the rest is history. I'm just gonna get it all in there. Kind of see on the chainmail, it helps it pop a little bit. That's the word of the day for this, pop. And it basically just does exactly what the Agraxos shade does. Is it allows everything to kind of stick out a bit more. Even see what I'm doing down there? It's mostly just the mail on his junk. I'm going to do some of the wires here. That was a lot of the wires, actually. That's kind of too much. That's alright. We'll draw from it as we paint the gun on his back. Alright, we'll draw from it as we paint someone else. That's not that bad. That'll all. Paint the chainsword. Honestly, with these washes, you don't need to like even put a lot. Oops. Since it's crest is silver. Go in there with that. It's upside down. Whatever. Okay. I'm gonna do it on stream because I mean I might as well. I'm gonna do a little touch up with it. But before I do that, I'm gonna put all these paints away so I don't. Anyway, I'll clean up fully when I'm done. Alright, what do we got? What do we got on this guy? Not. Aha. Gotcha. It's always on the backpacks where it gets a little screwed up because it's just so in the way. I'm gonna call that guy done. I really don't see any spots on this guy. What about this guy? Not really. Oh wait, on his hands. Yeah. What about this guy? Very small amount on his hands. And finally this guy. His helmet was all taken care of. Yeah, there we go. I'm calling it done. We've got this dude. His face looks more messed up on camera than it is, I promise. He's a guy. We got this guy. The black helmet kind of all blends in on camera, but that's alright. We got this guy who's eventually going to be put onto a 40mm base to be a Havoc, but this guy, who actually I kind of really liked his model a lot. I'm looking for. He's just a random Chaos Space Marine, but I like his pauldrons. Kind of got this round shoulders. And then finally, Dark Apostle. Looking pretty snazzy. I like him. Yeah. Good 2 hours spent, I say. Now, unfortunately, I have all of these left. Not today, that's for sure. But, yes, that's at least 2 to 3 more sessions. And then, like, 1 more session after that. Of things that need to be, like, partially assembled. And then my Chaos Space Marines are done. And then I can move to the Eldar. Yeah. Alright, well, thank you for watching. And may your painting be just as good. That sounds really arrogant. I mean, like, you have fun. Not like, you know what I mean.